For about 20 minutes on Wednesday night in Santa Clara, the United States men's national team looked like it was living out a nightmare of its own making. A hero scored the goal of his World Cup, celebrated like a king in front of a sold-out crowd, and then, before the second half was even half over, he was walking off the field in tears. By the time the final whistle blew, the US had somehow turned that chaos into their first World Cup knockout win since 2002. And the internet had a whole lot to say about how they got there. Here's how the reaction unfolded, beat by beat. Let's start where the real firestorm began, the red card. In the 45th minute, Folarin Balogun broke the deadlock for the US. He'd actually thought he'd scored earlier in the half too, ripping off LeBron James's signature silencer celebration, only for that effort to get chalked off for offside. So when the real goal went in, beating Bosnian keeper Nikola Vasilj off a pair of fortunate deflections, Balogun didn't hesitate. Out came the silencer again, this time for real, and Levi's Stadium erupted. For about 20 minutes, Balogun was simply the story of the night, and the US looked like it might run away with the match. Then, in the 64th minute, everything flipped. Balogun challenged Bosnian defender Tarik Muharemović for a loose ball near the box, and as he planted his foot to compete for it, his studs dragged down the back of Muharemovic's leg and onto his Achilles. Referee Rafael Claus paused play, was sent to the pitch-side monitor by VAR, and after reviewing the replay, pulled out a straight red card for serious foul play. The reaction online was instant and loud. Football journalist Adam Crafton called Balogun the latest victim of what he described as a pattern of harsh officiating around these coming-togethers. Fellow reporter Joachim went further, arguing that punishing 10 men for the rest of the match, and Balogun for a potential round of 16 clash with Belgium, didn't come close to fitting what he called a genuinely accidental collision, with both players simply engaged for the ball. That word, accidental, is where the second wave of reaction took over, and this is where things got genuinely heated between fan bases. Fans immediately dug up a nearly identical incident from earlier in the tournament, when Lionel Messi made similar studs-down contact with an opponent against Algeria, and wasn't carded at all. The double-standard argument spread fast across timelines in the US, the UK, and beyond, with supporters piling on to ask why one World Cup superstar got a pass and an American forward didn't. Not everyone agreed, though. Plenty of neutral fans and some Bosnia supporters pushed back, arguing that a dangerous studs-down challenge is a red card regardless of who's making it, and that comparing two separate incidents from memory isn't the same as judging what the referee actually saw live. Even neutral experts weren't fully sold on the call, and that's what turned this from a fan argument into a full-blown VAR debate. ESPN's VAR review panel, led by former elite referee Andy Davies, broke the incident down frame by frame after the match. His verdict, while the contact looked bad in slow motion, he didn't believe it was actually a red card offense. But he also flagged a deeper, more technical issue that a lot of casual fans didn't realize was even part of the conversation. Under IFAB's actual laws of the game, slow-motion replay is only supposed to be used by VAR to confirm the facts of contact, not to judge a player's intent, which is normally assessed at full speed. Once the referee was walked over to the monitor and shown those slowed-down images, Davies argued, a red card became almost inevitable, regardless of what actually happened in real time. That distinction, VAR protocol versus what fans and pundits felt they were watching live, became its own mini-storyline running alongside the red card debate itself. Now here's where the story gets emotional. US head coach Mauricio Pochettino didn't hold back in his post-match press conference. Asked directly about the sending off, he said plainly, "For me, never is it a red card. Never was their intention to step on the player." He pointed straight back to the Messi comparison, saying he didn't think either challenge deserved a red. Midfielder Weston McKennie backed him up publicly, saying he'd seen similar plays go uncarded all tournament and didn't understand the inconsistency in how the calls were being made. On the field, though, it wasn't all outrage. There was a genuine moment of sportsmanship in the middle of it. Fox Sports captured Christian Pulisic and Bosnian defender Sead Kolasinac, an opponent, both staying behind to console Balogun as he walked off in visible distress. That image, a rival comforting him in real time, became its own small talking point, a bit of grace cutting through an otherwise tense night. And here's the twist that turned outrage into pride for US fans. Down to 10 men for almost 30 minutes, the Americans didn't fold. They held their shape, absorbed Bosnia's push for an equalizer, and then delivered the dagger. In the 82nd minute, Malik Tillman curled in an exquisite free kick past Vasilj to make it 2-0, sealing the result and sending the US through to the round of 16 for the first time in over 2 decades. Pochettino, visibly emotional afterward, talked about what the win meant beyond the scoreline. He said, "You feel part of something bigger, things that we are building here. I enjoy being part of that amazing project." Fans in the stadium didn't want to leave. Video from Levi's Stadium showed supporters breaking into a full-throated sing-along of Take Me Home, Country Roads long after the final whistle, turning a controversial, chaotic night into a genuine celebration. There's one more layer to this story that stat heads online couldn't resist pointing out, and it's a wild one. Balogun is now only the fourth player in World Cup history to both score a goal and get sent off in the same knockout match, and the first to do it since Zinedine Zidane, all the way back in 2006. That's the kind of historical footnote that guarantees this game gets talked about for years, red card and all. So where does that leave the US heading into the next round? They get Belgium in Seattle, and honestly, the Belgians arrive with their own chaotic story from the same night. Belgium needed extra time just to get past Senegal, winning 3-2 in a match that swung back and forth late. Senegal led through goals from Habib Diarra and Ismaila Sarr, before Romelu Lukaku pulled Belgium level in the 86th minute, and Yuri Tielemans won it with a goal in stoppage time and then sealed it from the penalty spot deep into extra time. In other words, the US isn't just walking into Seattle facing a big European name. They're facing a Belgian side that just went through its own 90-plus minutes of drama to get there. And the Americans will have to do it without their informed striker, who's now serving an automatic one-match suspension for the sending off. The mood online right now is genuinely split down the middle. Plenty of fans are still furious about the officiating and think the US got robbed of a cleaner path through the bracket. Plenty more are simply soaking in the fact that this team found a way to win anyway, shorthand, on the road to a knockout stage they hadn't reached in a generation, and are already looking ahead, wondering who steps up at striker with Balogun unavailable. So, which side are you on? Was that a fair red card for a dangerous challenge, or was Balogun robbed of a signature World Cup moment over an accidental coming together? Drop your take, because this exact controversy is going to follow the US all the way into Seattle.